7, close enough for 7 for me. We'll call tonight's meeting to order. Mandy, would you take a roll call, please?
Todd Adolph.
Here.
Lee McMillan.
Present.
Jamie Meyer. Matt Audie.
Here.
Tony Dingler.
Yes.
Andrew Brabon.
Present. You'd stand with me for this invocation of the Lord's Salute. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight to lift up our nation and our soldiers and their families as they're mourning the significant losses their families are going through at this time. Be with our military as they're still protecting us and our law enforcement. Be with our youth as we're traveling into the athletic seasons, and be with them with their academics. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to get reacclimated.
Yeah.
That's your curveball. Lee, do you have anything?
I don't have anything.
No, sir. Thanks. Matt? Nope. Andrew?
There's grass growing on that field.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
It looks really good.
Rain came perfect too.
Yeah.
That's, he's weather guy.
Yeah.
Should have planted it a lot sooner.
Yeah.
To make that work. Okay, Katie, do you have?
Not at this time, no. I do have something in the work session. I'll wait till then.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Jason, we'll turn the meeting over to you.
All right. Drainage project on the west side of town, that is still moving along. A lot of moving pieces with that. Dr. Gentry sold the house up on top of the hill to someone, so we're trying to kind of coordinate all that. Basically, Schwab is going to topo that whole area because that's really going to help us know where that drainage structure needs to be. Right now, it's all based on LiDAR, that whole report. So they're going to do that, and that's going to help us know exactly where to put that, so then we know exactly what piece of ground we need to buy. Obviously, we know that building, but kind of the whole section, and then what part of easements. Again, talk to Josh Wessling and Joe Schmidt and everybody. We're all still on the same page and moving forward. So now it's just basically getting it defined and getting the legal work done so we know exactly what we're doing. So it's a good project, just hum along there in the background. Solid waste proposals. My timing wasn't perfect with that. Those came in yesterday at 5. We did get 3 proposals, so we'll get those put together and to you guys next meeting. We got a proposal from Dunston Waste Solutions, Jamie Heiser wrote, and Chief
Disposal out of Mankato.
Chief Disposal out of Mankato. So I think as it stands right now, Jamie is the low bid, and it's lower than what we had last time. So we're sitting in good shape. So we'll bring that, make sure you guys see all the options. I think a couple of them gave some different options to consider if we chose to, but again, I think September 1st surprised me at the meeting when I set that due date, so we'll get that to you guys we got plenty of time. It's not till the end of the year to get that section away. So the nice thing is we got good proposals. Sales tax update, again, hopefully you saw that in your packet, but things are continuing to trend really well for us, and again, just encouraging people to shop local. I think you guys are hard at work trying to make sure we keep our project pipeline full, which is what that sales tax is, really there for. A good chunk of that's there for the CIP, capital improvement plan expenditures. So I don't really see anything negative here. It's great. The pool bond that we paid, I was talking to Mandy, we actually had a little bit of money left over, so that was healthier. Remember, that was a concern a couple years ago that was running short, and so that performed well. So all in all, doing really well. I think for projection's sake, especially when we talk about bonding and that stuff, we'll still keep going over a multi-year average just to soften that blow, because you just never know. That can change in a heartbeat. But I think we've got good retail here, some additional retail here, and if the car dealers could probably find a few more cars to sell, that would probably only strengthen that. So we'll just hope for that here in the near future. But moving right along, the airport construction. So I think I've got a few pictures here the last few weeks. Hopefully you've driven by it, but here's some of the shoulder work that they've been doing. It's pretty much a done deal. They got all this concrete out. This part was really, of course, they have to use special FAA concrete for this, and I'm being serious about that. It's a really specific specification, but part of the issue is that it took them a long time to get this done. I think they're done now. I'm not quite sure Just with the heat, those last couple weeks of August, they could only pour a small section at a time. So, but they got all the ceiling done, the dirt work on the side done. Here, let's go to another week 2 here. You can see here, they blew out all that gunk in those cracks. So we got all that re-crack sealed. Here's some of the concrete that got poured up to that hanger. That's going to be really nice. We'll do any finish work. Sometimes I'm not quite sure if it's going to go all the way road. We'll make that all really nice. We're going to put basically right here where the grass is. There used to be a real bent up, nasty looking chain link fence, and for a $3 or $4 million airport, we want to make it. Yeah, Todd's kid wasn't there for that one, so we want to make it look nice. We're going to put a nice chain link, black chain link fence back in there and make it look nice. So you can see they're doing the seating on that. And here's the third week, I believe. So again, more concrete work being done. Here's that on the north end. They really had to excavate quite a bit of dirt. If you'll see on that south end, there's a Mount Beloit's over there now. So it's a pretty big pile of dirt we've got there. But again, that was part of that whole project, and really it was to shave down that end because it actually wasn't the right height to begin with for clearances and everything like that. So good project. Again, it was 100% FAA funded. So we're just spending, I guess, our income tax dollars when you do your income tax. So, go back to the agenda. Oh, and then my review. So again, it took me a little longer to get that out. So just keep trickling those over to Tom or myself, and we'll just plan on doing that the September 15th meeting. So no rush on that. So if you need anything, just reach out to me. If you need me to print one off for you, send you an electronic version again, I can do that, and plus the year in review, all that kind of stuff. So no problem. So that's all I got, Tom. If there's questions.
Well, we'll go on to Heather with the community development.
A few things. I'm excited we're going to talk about the land bank tonight, so that's good. Did anybody get any questions? Okay, good. Me? New residents, again, we had more calls this week, had 2 more calls this week, people wanting to move to the area. I have one that's bringing a medical field type business with them, so that's great. They're closing on houses, so I'm absolutely certain they're actually moving, so that's really good news. It's not good news. We talked about that scale-up facility that maybe Manhattan, TDI, and the Northwest Kansas Economic Innovation Center, like a manufacturing type scale-up facility. We are waiting for the Economic Development Association to send some RFPs out, and they did. How many acronyms can I put in one sentence? But they did send some requests for proposals out, and we heard from the Technology Development Institute out of K-State, and they put out an all-call across all communities instead of focusing on the 3 that they were focusing on before, which was Colby and Hayes. Now they're opening it up to all communities because they're going to want a 20% cash match, and they're expecting to put about $5 million in each facility. So that pretty much takes us out of the water unless somebody wins the lottery and wants to donate us some money. So I'm still looking. I'm not completely convinced that it won't happen, and maybe some sort of different realm. But it was kind of disappointing. We got that information yesterday. Also, I got it yesterday, and it's due on Tuesday the 7th. So I want to know who has that much time. I mean, in a week's time, you could really not
Disconnected.
You could get that together. Yes.
Is the Community Foundation no-go for helping with that?
Yeah, they could be, but it's timing. So Community Foundation wouldn't have that much. Hanson could possibly fund some of that, but there's no way you would know. And we have to have ours in by September 7th, and then by October 1st is when they actually have to turn that into the EDA. And even if I apply, the Hanson ones aren't that, there's not a turnaround time at all. So it's going to have to be somebody who has that much cash laying around, which is really disappointing because that pretty much takes all of us, I would think. Hayes might
Pretty much going to be all the big cities. Yeah.
But it'll be all the big cities again, which was not the first intent of the project, so it's really disappointing. Neighborhood revitalization program, I will bring that to you hopefully after the commission signs off on it on Tuesday. Just so you know, again, that is a tax rebate program. It is not a grant. So it is a tax rebate program. It's looking to maybe have a few changes to it, but it's been an extremely successful program. I have put just initial calls out to other cities and to the school districts, and everyone seems very positive again. So hopefully I will be bringing that to you soon.
You should expect the commissioner to go ahead and approve it.
I do.
Okay.
From what it's looking like now, I do. At least 2 of the 3. Yep. that's kind of where I feel like we're at. There's a few things we still want to talk about, but it's a great program. We've had over $100 million in capital investments that have been invested back into the community. And that's just over the last 10 years, and it was in existence 3 years before that. So obviously the ones that started are completely rolled off, and so they're paying their full taxes now. And again, it is a rebate. You know, you pay your taxes like normal, and then you get rebated back a certain percentage. It is not increment. Okay, so now 2 fun things. I hinted about this a little bit, and I will have a bigger presentation after we do an official launch. But we did a small meeting today of nonprofits, and we kind of dripped a little bit of it, so I figured I'll give you guys a little bit more. The Community Foundation, along with Solomon Valley Economic Development, is coming up with this huge project. We want to call it Dream Big. And we really want organizations to dream big about doing something that is economic development focused, has some sort of economic development component to it, has collaboration, so people working between their own factions, and then has some sort of community involvement. We put some dollars towards it, so the Community Foundation put $30,000 towards the project, and SVD put $20,000. So we have $50,000, which we really hope is just seed money to get you to that project. We'd like it to be a 6-figure project. We'd like it to be something tangible. And we assume that that means you're going to have to work with different organizations. So I want you guys to be aware, because some of the things that we talked about today at the nonprofit group was about finding that facilitator or someone that the umbrella organization that they would apply under. And so somebody might come to you as city council to see if it's something that you'd be interested in helping be the fiscal agent for, which doesn't always mean money. It just means it's your guys' name on it. But along with that, we are going to do another strategic doing session. That's what the nonprofits asked for today. They needed ideas on how to think bigger, because every nonprofit, we had a great group, we had 25, I think, nonprofits represented today, and they were having a hard time thinking about those big projects. So we're going to try and do strategic, and they asked for it. They wanted us to do it again, so we'll do another strategic doing session, and we have set that date for October 5th at the Technical College, probably like a 5:30 to 7, and we'll provide a meal too. That's a lot of information, sorry. All right, thank you.
Got a lot of things going on. Okay, next on the agenda is Chief Elam, introduction of a new officer. Dave, you got the floor.
Yep. Ashley Schinke is our new officer that we hired. She comes to us already certified and has 5 years experience prior to coming to us. So we got her in a little training program right now to make sure she knows geography and our businesses and geographical locations within the city limits. But you should see her out and about. That's all I
Where's she coming from?
She came from Mankato.
Yeah, Jewel County.
Right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good to have
Glad to
you.
be here. So.
And my badge won't have a formal action on the K-9 program, so we're gonna do some more research.
Yeah, welcome to Beloit.
Thank you.
Happy to live in here, keep an eye on it.
Now you know who to look for out there. I mean, so
Yeah.
you drive a white truck, you drive a blue truck, you drive a Ford.
My vehicle's invisible.
Him, the Smart Nutrient, you'll see him all over. He usually wears a yellow shirt, high vis, that's your mayor.
Yeah, blend in with everybody else. Again, welcome. Moving along, this evening we'll go to the public hearing for the 2022 budget. We'll now open the public hearing for the 2022 budget exceeding the revenue neutral rate. Is there any questions for staff or governing body? Once again, is there any questions? Since there's no questions for the 2022 budget, we will close our public hearing. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2021-10, exceeding the revenue neutral rate. I entertain a motion to approve. So moved. Been moved by Councilman McMillan that we approve the Resolution 2021-10, second by Councilman Grayvon. Is there any discussion? No discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries.
And I just want to make a comment about that neutral thing. Again, this is a new piece of legislation. We don't really know how it interacts. Our budget's going up $16,000 for the ad valorem. It's very minor. It's more just a mechanism because we don't know how they're going to interpret taxes coming in if something comes back on the roll or whatever, and then all of a sudden we're going to be over the rate, and then so they kind of need. Susan Kincannon comes by tomorrow. Susan Kincannon, so I'm actually going to talk to her a little bit about that. Just I understand the concept, the cap as well, but it doesn't really give you much protection if you want to actually lower taxes or do something like that, because in case the next year something big happens and you're kind of stuck. So, anyways, we're barely exceeding the neutral rate. It's just kind of more of a mechanism to give us some flexibility.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
and it's just also,
Next item is we'll go into a public hearing for the 2022 budget. Is there any questions on the 2022 budget for the staff or governing body? Once again, is there any questions? If there's no questions, we'll close our public hearing for the 2022 budget. Next item on the agenda is adopting the 2022 budget. I entertain a motion to approve. Motion to approve by Councilman Graybon. Second. Second by Councilman Adolph. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Moving on to the consent agenda, I entertain a motion to approve the entirety, the August 18th council meeting appropriations. Moved by Councilman Gingler to approve. Second. Second. Second by Councilman Graybon. Any discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion approved. Next item is ordinance 2293, the standard traffic ordinance. And I think these have been reviewed by Katie, I think.
Yes, we didn't do one last year. They didn't publish new books last year because of COVID. So they kind of 2 years of updates in these new books. It's just something we have to update whenever they come out. So nothing new.
Okay. Motion to approve the 2293 standard traffic ordinance by Councilman Gingler. Do I have a second? By Councilman McMillan. Any discussion? No other discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Along the same theme, the ordinance 2294, the Uniform Public Offense Code. Any questions for staff on that or with Kate? So been moved by Councilman Graybon. We approve the 2294 Uniform Public Offense Code. Do I have a second? By Councilman Gingler. Any discussion? No discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next item is ordinance 2295, establishing a land bank. Any comments or questions from anybody? Been moved by Councilman Audi. We approve the 2295, establishing a land bank. Is there a second? By Councilman McMillan, seconds. Any discussion? No discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion approved. Okay.
I do have one question now. What is the next step now that we have?
The next step would be appointing that board of trustees, so that we'll hopefully do that at the September 15th meeting.
So if any of you have interest, I guess just let me know or email me or whatever. Yeah, I know Andrew was. We need 2 council members.
So I think staff will just work on kind of reaching out to potential people, and we'll get a list and bring it to the next meeting. And then after that, we can
Hand it over to them.
rock and roll. We got to do policies, procedures, all that kind of stuff. But the board will work on that once they're established. So.
I didn't know if there was like a time frame that had to be waited or anything.
How often would meet? Do they meet?
Once a month. Well, I think that's my proposal.
The board gets to decide.
They get to decide, but I think monthly. is
Somewhat
probably-
regular.
I'd be interested.
Okay, so say you got time.
Well, and this is enough too. We even talked about this. Will get too far in the weeds. Well, yeah, we'll get it figured out as far as timing and schedule and stuff. So
Yeah.
make it easy on everybody.
Okay, next item is the resolutions, is Resolution 2021-11, unfit structure located at 411 East South.
So moved.
It's been moved by Councilman Greenlaw that we approved Resolution 2021-11, unfit structure at 411 East South. Second. Second by Councilman McMillan. Any discussion? No discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2021-12, unfit structure located at 718 North Mill.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Graybon. We approve Resolution 2021-12, unfit structure located at 718 North Mill. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman McMillan. Any discussion? No discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2021-13, unfit structure located at 706 North Mill.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Greenlaw to approve.
Tony got
I mean, I'm getting a run here.
I purposely held off.
I'm kind of into this identifying things. So yeah. Motion by Councilman Gingler to approve Resolution 2021-13, unfit structure at 706 North Mill. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Gingler. Councilman Graybaum, second. So, is there any discussion? No discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries.
Mayor, can I just
Next time.
Mayor, comment on those? Just so everyone's aware, we are not condemning these structures at this point. All we're doing is declaring them unfit,
Right.
which kind of starts the process. So they do have the opportunity to take care of things on their own. We're not to the point where we're condemning. We'll come back on October 20th, and if we need to, we'll take further action. So
I did want to say one thing. I was really appreciative of how thorough the documentation was on all of these. There was no real questions looking at the pictures.
Doug
No
does
statements.
a
It was
great job with that.
very easy to sort of make a call seeing this, so thank you.
Okay. Moving on to formal actions is the K-14 mill and overlay bid. Jason, you want to?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you read it, and just basically just came in higher, a lot of things out of our control. But on the flip side, we're still getting a lot of good work done and work that needs to be done for not a lot more money. It's again, using that CIP sales tax, exactly what it's for. And the big expense on that project is the patching work that has to be done, because if you drive that road, those expansion areas that are all busted up, they got to core all that out, put full depth asphalt. They're not going to get smaller. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the issue that's continued to drive that cost up. Again, it's a $350,000 project. We got to come with nearly $100,000, but I would still say a pretty good deal to get that road shaped back up. So I would recommend that we take it now, because I don't think things are going to get cheaper.
Is this the south side though?
Yeah, so that's 14 from the bridge to the city limits. So core that out, grind it down, repave it.
Last 6 months, it's gotten a lot.
Yeah,
worse.
and we put
every single day.
And we put in, I would guess $20,000 worth of stuff and labor about 2 years ago to get it to at least hold it today. So yeah.
How many? I asked you this the other day, but I don't remember. How many tons or yards of milling?
We'll get 1,700 tons of millings off of it, so that's kind of a side benefit. It's really useful material that we can use, obviously, for some parking lot stuff or just wherever. So that's part of that bid. We get to keep that.
We get to keep
We
that.
get to keep that. So there's quite a bit of value there. So, this is just off the hip, maybe 20, 30 grand worth of material, that we get to keep off of that. So hauling.
Been moved by Councilman Graybon that we approve the K-14 mill and overlay bid. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman McMillan. Any further discussion?
Yeah, and that's to APAC, just so Terry knows. Yeah.
No further discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. With that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman McMillan that we adjourn. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Gingler. Those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. We will stand adjourned. We'll go into the work session. Katie, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I just have one item that kind of came about today, and I knew it would be coming at some point. This is in regard to liquor sales on Sundays. State law changed on July 1st that allows liquor stores to sell from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. on Sundays. Right now, as it's written in our ordinance, which was the old state law, is noon to 8. So we had a liquor store call and inquire about that. So I will be bringing you an ordinance next meeting. Certainly nothing you have to do, but it was brought to my attention.
You got your church beer?
Yeah.
Hey, get out.
You needed 3 hours earlier. So, well, I just wanted everybody to be aware of that. So
Again, it's just sort of us sticking with what the state.
we're just following the state statute. We just need to change our ordinance. Yeah.
Oh, I think wait till noon.
Yeah. I mean, we
Oh,
can
you gotta hit
change.
the lake, you know, I mean, there is some.
You do have flexibility. You can change some hours in there. I would recommend just going with the state laws. I mean, that's simpler and easier for everybody. So.
I guess that's progress.
Of all the things, that was one thing that got pushed through this session. So we will deal with it.
COVID related. Next thing, was that?
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have
Jason,
anything.
you don't have anything? Oh, if nobody has any other questions, we'll stay.